Christ's letters. Continuation of letter number 6. These created forms not only manifest eventually as experiences, but also disturb the functioning of the physical processes of their creator and are the origin of physical discomforts or viruses or disease. Therefore, is it a great cause for rejoicing when the soul emerges from its encapsulating human consciousness of the ego, for the ascending spiritual consciousness will create the harmonious, life-giving conditions it holds in consciousness. Conversely, it is a cause for sorrow whilst the human consciousness is submerged in ego control, producing upsets, trials and tribulations both in life experiences and the physical condition itself. Therefore, I tell you, if you do not like your world, you have it within your power to change your conditions of existence, right where you are, if you have the faith and consistent will to do so. I repeat in another form to gain your attention. If you continue in your present level of human functioning and thought, you will only experience your present level of human existence. You will be bound down to working hard for a paltry living, beset by numerous problems such as poverty and ill health, addictions, immobilized by prostrating fear, and exposed to ill-intentioned attacks of all kinds. You will be burdened by present conditions until you understand how to change them. This is your golden opportunity to take control of your lives as never before by getting control of your thoughts and emotions, your electrical and magnetic impulses, the blueprints of your future experiences. For you are like potters possessing clay and daily shaping pots and utensils for your use. Consciousness is the clay, the substance with which you make your lives and every condition pertaining to it. You alone shape your lives in the forms you experience. By your thoughts, you can change your personal future if you will but heed my words, understand your true origins, believe in them, and use this knowledge in your daily routine. You can affect your environment, your homes, families, work, the people you associate with, and even plants, animals, and climate. Whatever you hold steadfastly in mind externalizes. Therefore, it is critical to your spiritual and your personal human development to fully understand all I am trying to teach you. Do not think that these letters presented to you are too difficult to understand and then move on to some more easy way of finding happiness. Believe me, there is no true and more easy way for you to find the equilibrium and happiness you seek, because my words describe the universal truth of existence and the life with which you are presently building or destroying your lives. At the same time, rest assured that you will never be able to create new conditions for yourself until you discover why and how you have been creating destructive and negative conditions in the past. Everything you are presently experiencing, you have created and set in motion by former thoughts, words, actions in the past. So do not resent your present circumstances, for you yourself have done whatever was the cause of your present conditions. Be sensible, therefore, and read these letters and devote all your strength and will to discover the means you have used in former ignorance to spoil your life in days gone by. Then take the necessary steps to clean out your consciousness. You may ask, why should I clean out my consciousness? I tell you, you would never plant a field of mealies without first putting in the plow to turn the ground, and then the equipment to make a fine textured soil and scatter the fertilizer. In ignorance, you could plant amongst the existing weeds in lumpy ground and omit the fertilizer, and your crop would be thin and patchy. So is it when you muddle along in your earthly, self-centered thoughts and live entirely in your own human knowledge, strength, and will. You are limited in everything you do, and all unknowingly, you create the very circumstances which will limit the harvest of your endeavors. The moment that you realize from whence you have truly come, seek the power on which you may draw to accomplish every single thing in your life, and take urgent steps to clear out the weeds, thus purifying the soil of your consciousness. You will draw on the power which will imbue and prosper your daily experiences and activities. You could say the power is your fertilizer, but this would be completely inaccurate and false. Fertilizer is inanimate chemical food for the plant, whereas the power on which you can draw through daily meditation is the life which will invigorate your entire being, your life, and even your plants, and the bricks of your houses, and your equipment far beyond your present belief. People who have given their entire willpower to living this truth see the undeniable fruitage in their lives, and the seeing increases their faith and determination. Thus do they enter a circle of blessedness. They marvel that other people can resist this truth and choose to remain outside the spiritual and earthly harmony in which it is possible to live. If you are prepared to listen and ponder and meditate on the following pages, you will begin to understand what has been hidden from the beginning of creation. Number 5. Cleansing the consciousness. Whilst doing all of the very necessary work of mental, emotional cleansing, use my words in the foregoing pages describing that which has brought you and all the world into visible being to build up an awareness and contact with its powerful divine consciousness. Out of that contact will come the inspiration and strength to accomplish the cleansing more swiftly. As the cleansing takes place, you will experience newfound happiness and fulfillment in every area of your life. You will also receive inspired directions in regard to your daily lives, either during your meditation or like a ray of light in your mind when you are at peace and thinking of some mundane matter. If you do not discount or reject these directions but follow them faithfully and carefully, you will be taking your first steps to becoming, eventually, a great and successful planter and reaper of creative ideas in your environment. Everything connected to you will blossom, flourish, and prosper. Everything will respond and bless you with newness of life. If you discipline yourself in meditating daily with undeviating devotion, you will eventually begin to feel a response and inflow of that which brought you into being, and the words you are using will take on new meaning. The words will be imbued with universal life. You will be filled with joy and will rejoice exceedingly, because you will then know the power is real and active in your mind and life. You will come to rely ever more confidently on the power beginning to be manifested in your affairs. You will want to draw others into your state of blessed harmony, for other people will be aware of it and ask you about it. Not only this, You will be experiencing a new kind of brotherly love and will want to share what makes you happy with other people. I cannot emphasize this truth enough, this need to meditate, since so many people give up the search and the self-discipline of daily listening before they have fully cleansed their consciousness and arrived at that state of inner purification so necessary to making perfect contact with the universal consciousness, the source of your being. When you do make contact, seeming miracles happen. This is the commencement of the universal power taking on form and shape in your soul, body, mind, heart, and circumstances. I tell you truly, you may trust my words implicitly. If you persevere, there will come a moment when you actually feel the contact and know that you have made contact. You have then reached a most crucial time in your spiritual human development. For a few hours, so many souls feel uplifted and joyful, but then the daily cares intrude into their minds and they intellectualize the experience. They explain it away in human terms. Do not do this, for you will lose what you have been given. You will greatly delay your spiritual progress. If you read these words and are afraid to believe them, or believe they are foolishness, or feel you will lose prestige if you believe them, you are making a creative form in consciousness which will negate any constructive response you may have originally had to this letter. So I say to you, cherish your moments of belief. Preserve your special times of contact with that which brought you into being. Believe in them and hold them fast in your consciousness, and gradually you will move forward on to the heights of spiritual consciousness, to great insight and joy. Again, I say, do not put these letters to one side. I cannot sufficiently emphasize your need to think about them, recall what they have to say. If you cannot remember, then return and read them yet again, and yet again, and yet again, until they have been absorbed into your consciousness. The more you meditate on them daily, so will they be clarified in your mind and will come to have ever greater meaning for you. Eventually, you will find that they have been like food and drink, building up your morale and determination to help change your present conditions into those of harmony, widespread growth, prosperity, and peace. Great inspiration and joy will be yours when you come to realize that the immensity of that which brought you into being is radiant, rapturous, ecstatic power beyond your present capacity to dream and imagine. It is reality. It is the source of being, the source of everything that you see in your natural living world and in many levels of existence beyond the one you presently inhabit. When you are abundantly receiving divine consciousness into your mind, yourself, into every facet of your existence, then you will begin to see the enormous difference. You will look back at the times of stress and happiness and unhappiness and see that gradually the limitations of your life will have yielded to greater blessedness. This becomes an ongoing process in your life. Be of good heart. It is truly I, the Christ, who is reaching out to you and the world through the medium of these letters. I particularly want to impress on your minds the way I have deliberately made statements in the past pages to lift your thoughts to a higher level of consciousness, depicting the benefits to be derived from working to elevate your consciousness by ridding it of the negative traits mentioned at the beginning of this letter 6.